It's pretty amazing how much things change just based on how you look at them, right? Today, we're going on this wild journey of perspective, zooming way in and then pulling way, way out to see our world like maybe you've never seen it before. And really, it all boils down to this one simple question. We're going to go on a trip from the total emptiness of space all the way down to one tiny spot on the ground. And along the way, we'll see exactly what happens when you go from the biggest possible picture to the smallest, most amazing details.
Okay, so let's start big. I mean, as big as it gets. We're pulling all the way back to see our home from way out in space.
And there it is. That's us. That's our world. From this far away, you don't see any borders, do you? No countries, no arguments. It's just this beautiful, swirling ball of blue and green and white. It just looks so whole, so peaceful. This is where we begin our journey with this single, amazing, interconnected system. Okay, you ready? Buckle up, because we are diving in. We're leaving that cosmic view behind and aiming for one particular spot. Things are about to get fast. And whoosh, there's our first jump. As we get closer, the planet starts to take shape. You can see the continents now. See that? That's North America. You can even make out these huge weather patterns moving across it. I mean, the scale is still just massive, but you can see things are starting to pop. And we keep going, diving down even closer. Now look, you can see individual islands popping out. There's the Caribbean. And suddenly, you're not just seeing land and water anymore. You're starting to see where countries are. The picture is getting way more detailed. And touchdown. We've made it. Think about that for a second. We just went from seeing the entire Earth to standing right here, in front of one single building, the incredible ancient pyramid of Chichen Itza. We went from the cosmos to something completely concrete. Okay, so now that we're here, let's pump the brakes a bit. Let's change how we're looking at things. We're done with the big picture for a minute. Now it's all about the amazing little details you can only spot when you're right on top of them. This is just a perfect example of what I'm talking about. On one side, you've got this huge green island, a whole world in itself. But then you zoom all the way in, and what do you find? This little guy, a tiny tree frog with these brilliant red eyes. For him, that huge island is the entire universe. And he's one of the millions of tiny, perfect details that make that universe work. And it's not just out in the wild either. Take a city at night. From way up high, it's this gorgeous spider web of light. But imagine zooming in on just one of those little glowing dots. You'd find a window, a room, maybe a person living their life, a whole story. It's its own kind of ecosystem, just packed with human energy. And really, there's no end to the worlds you can find this way. You could zoom into the human body, right past our brains and nerves, all the way down to a single cell. Or you could zoom into the planet itself, deep inside a volcano or a hidden cave. Every single one of them is a universe just waiting for you to look closer. So we've seen all these amazing tiny details. What happens now if we start pulling back out? Let's put the little pieces back into the big picture. And here's the key takeaway. It's not about which view is right or better. They're just different. The view from space tells us a story about how everything's connected. The view of that little frog tells a story about how fragile and beautiful life is. Every single scale has its own story to tell. So here we are, right back where we started, looking at the exact same picture of Earth. But it feels different now, doesn't it? Because now you know what's tucked away inside all those swirls of blue and green. You know there are ancient pyramids in there, and glittering cities, and tiny islands, and even the bright red eyes of a little frog. It's not just a picture anymore. It's like a giant library, and it's holding an infinite number of stories. So think about that. Next time you look at, a forest or a busy street, or even just your own hand, think about all the different ways you could see it, all the different scales. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. If you had a zoom lens that could go anywhere, from the cosmic to the microscopic, where would you point it first? What hidden world would you want to see?